I'm glad JD's back on the show this week. He was on the show 2 weeks ago, and Impact had one of their worst fucking episodes in the history of the promotion. And I tried my best to have a positive spin on it because JD was on fire, and I failed miserably.
Sucked ass. This is one of the worst wrestling shows.
Yeah,
Oh,
it sucked ass. Last week was much better than the week before. This week was a lot better than last week.
I liked this show. This was a good show.
I like this show a lot. This was a fun show. They didn't go too hard on the silly, and I thought the silly worked. We're going to talk about the main event, but Crazy Steve coming out of a locked closet in the dark, coming out pretending like the light's hurting his eyes and he's fucking blind is an all-time great wrestling moment. I don't
What
care.
a worker. What a worker. It's not like that's a well-known fact though. Like you got to be like a fan to know that Crazy Steve is blind.
Yeah, I know. So he played it up well, and I'm sure everybody thought, like on the inside, they thought that was popped. Absolutely hilarious. Sure. It popped the shit out of me. I was like, this motherfucker's he's acting like he can't see, but he legitimately can't see, which is incredible. I love it.
It's hilarious. No, this was a good show. Like it surprised me. Like again, this goes back to the dichotomy of what the hell. There's some shit, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was really entertained this week. Really entertained.
Yeah, me too. I would go so far as to say it's probably the best go home show for a pay-per-view. I would since the Kenny and Swann pay-per-view, as far as like, hey, look, they did a good job of building my interest for the show. I just really like the countdown portion. I like the interaction between Josh and Swann. I really dug it.
I have no memory for what I don't remember what happens week to week on these shows, any of them. So I mean, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I just really felt like they did a good job of producing a very good show, a fun show to watch, and still hyping their pay-per-view. Because sometimes they only hype the pay-per-view, and then what they put in the ring is just like paint by numbers stuff because they're only focused on what's happening the coming up weekend. But today, I thought they served both masters pretty well.
We did not paint by numbers this week. I'll say that.
No. On the pre-show, we had Kevin Knight defeating Jack Price.
Cool.
And that was talking BTI. Thank you, folks. Thank you for talking BTI. You know, I'm kind of interested in that match. Jack Price is a guy that Muse speaks very highly of. And Kevin Knight is one of the more incredible performers I've seen come in Impact in a while. He's a New Japan guy.
Yeah, those Dojo guys. Those, like I say before, I'll say it again. Shibata, phenomenal trainer. Phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Opening match was Motor City Machine Guns defeating Mike Bailey and Jonathan Gresham. And goddamn, was this a great wrestling match. I absolutely loved it. Just move, crazy move after crazy move, and lots of great technical wrestling too with these guys. Of course, you're going to get that with Gresham and Shelley being in the ring, and they got a good high flying, good double team moves, just fast paced action all up and down. Machine Guns pick up the victory there when Gresham accidentally hit Bailey with a forearm, leaving him alone with the Motor City Machine Guns. And then the Motor City Machine Guns hit the dirt bomb on Gresham for the pinfall. Awesome match.
I love the Motor City Machine Guns. Like this felt like a Motor City Machine Guns match. And Speedball and Gresham had pretty good chemistry for guys who don't normally tag together, right? I thought they looked good. It was a great match. It was like 20 minutes long. It's probably my favorite match of the week on wrestling TV, to be honest with you. Like this was my watch. I was thinking, yes, this is a JD Oliva match. This is what I come to watch wrestling for. It was awesome.
You clearly didn't watch the Noah finale yet, so
I have not watched the Noah finale yet. That is when my hotel room tomorrow at Girls State. That is what I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
Can we not watch it yet? I thought it wasn't posted. I thought we had to pay an extra $40 to watch the Muda finale or something like that. Was it extra money? Yeah. I will not do that. Our friend works for Noah. I'm not stealing from our buddy. The commentator.
I didn't say I was stealing. I'm just saying that somebody sent me a leak and boom, there it was. I don't know. It wasn't on me. I didn't go to the store and put it in my pocket. It just kind of happened to be on my phone.
I'll tell you, Mike, if that happened to reach itself into my Twitter feed, I would be angry, sir, but I would not click on it.
Yeah, and I told our friend who was on, Justin was on commentary for that, and I'm so fucking happy for him.
I know, isn't that awesome? Our buddy is actually like doing commentary for major Japan. Did you hear what Dave said about that show? Blew away WWE and New Japan in terms of production.
It did.
It's awesome.
Like Muto's entrance was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Honestly, I get goosebumps just talking about it. And our guy Justin did a fantastic job.
He has
And
done an amazing job. I know he took some shit from the Voices of Wrestling guys, but Justin has
fuck
done an
those guys.
amazing job bringing Noah, something that you would like, felt like for a long time, I felt like I was the only dude in the US talking about Noah. Like during
Yeah,
the pandemic, I'm like, Noah's got a good show. And people would look at me like, you're watching Noah? But I really
yeah,
feel like with Justin at the helm there, really heading up the English PR, like people are I'm seeing it more and more frequently. People are talking about how awesome Noah is. My only
yeah.
question is, what do they do without Muto? Muto was their money. It was like their big draw.
Hey, JD, stay tuned. Hold on. Now is the time. Here, let me stay tuned. Go to patreon.com/fight game media on the Patreon. As soon as this is over, if you're listening to Apple Podcast, Spotify, or you're watching on YouTube, I have a theory about what Noah could be doing and who could potentially replace Muto as the top star there.
I
So
think I
stay
know where you're
tuned for
going.
that. Yes,
I know where
stay
you're going.
tuned for that. We shall see. But back to Impact. Yeah,
Yes.
the Muto finale was fantastic. But yeah, in America, I thought this was the best tag team or the best match I had seen
Best
all
match I
week
saw
so
all week.
far.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And then Rich Swann and Josh Alexander had a hype video for their match. Another tremendous job. Just like every time they do these, he's just knock them out of the park.
I honestly don't think anyone does these better than Impact. Like they don't feel
Mm.
like WWE, which is like is way overproduced, right? Everything is super dramatic, and AEW tends to fall like in between. But Impact just has this nice sweet spot where it feels like, remember HBO boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It always feels like an HBO boxing hype video, which I appreciate because it's different than what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I really love it. I thought it was very well done. Deanna Purrazzo cut a promo backstage after highlight video and Giselle Shaw after the this is from a Josiah, unfortunate chili incident. Okay. Purrazzo said that Shaw was leaving No Surrender with a broken arm. Purrazzo has basically she's turned babyface now. So Purrazzo's the babyface heading into a match with Giselle Shaw, and they're fighting over chili, which is interesting.
Deanna, we're going to pick up your option. And rather than fighting for the title, you are going to do a program based around chili. And unless the ghost of Johnny Cash returns in form of a coyote, I'm not interested in this. That was a Simpsons joke for you people that might not get that.
The match is going to be good, but I do not
Yeah,
care about the feud whatsoever.
Not even a little bit. I can't believe we're talking about chili.
Reminds me of the Edge Booker T WrestleMania match from a long time ago where they're fighting over getting a shampoo commercial.
I remember
that bullshit?
In Japan. Yes.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
it's
yeah.
so dumb. John Skyler and Jason Hotch came out, and Skyler claimed that Tommy Dreamer was not going to beat the clock challenge tonight. He wasn't even going to beat John Skyler or Jason Hotch. I'm sorry. And then Tommy Dreamer defeated Jason Hotch in a minute and 15 seconds. So, hey, if you're going to have a Tommy Dreamer match on the show, a minute and 15 seconds, pretty. I'm cool with that. If like we have to negotiate here, say, okay, you're going to give this fucking idiot a match. He only gets a minute and 15 seconds. I think that's a win.
Why do we have to watch Tommy Dreamer in 2023? Like, okay, legitimately, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Bully Ray comes out later in the show. Bully looks great. Bully's still fine at being Bully, right? I'm cheering Jeff Jarrett on the other show because Jeff Jarrett has come in there and been nothing but awesome, right? Yep. Edge is doing great work in WWE. He really is.
He is.
Tommy Dreamer fucking sucks, man. He's in terrible shape, and his matches aren't good. He looks terrible. It's awful. It's fucking terrible.
He looks like Fat Evil Uno. Like it's just. Sorry, I caught you while you're coughing.
I was coughing. You got me. I said Fat Samurai once on the show and got a DM. So I'm going to leave that alone. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's better. And you know what? He was on, but to his credit, he was on Busted Open saying there's no reason for me to be on TV. I would much rather sit in the back and watch. And I'm like, why are you doing this then? So they must think that he moved some kind of numbers. They keep pushing his ass out there. But I got no interest.
Because our target demographic is 75 years old. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like we don't target lapsed fans. We target people who have been here since 2002.
Yeah.
Like that's the truth. I mean, it's what the network targets. I mean, there's 18 to 49. That's not what we care about here.
I was talking to my buddy James, who works over at Reels,
Hmm.
and he was talking about Reels, and Reels is a very similar like size network to Access. They're pretty close, right?
As
And
far
their
as what?
program,
Like when you say size, like Reels is in far more homes, they draw far more
it's
ratings. So what size are we like? How are we defining size here?
they're actually only in a couple million more homes. We
Are
pulled
you
it up a few
sure?
weeks ago. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Russellnomics posted it. They're in like 38 versus like 35. It's like something like that. So,
Okay.
and but the programming is geared towards that 25 to 54 demographic that you would see the news channels going after. That's what Reels goes after. I think that's what Access is going after. So like he said that Reels that like as far as the 18 to 49 it's not really big to them. They cherish the 25 to 54. And I'm starting to think that maybe Access does too, because that's certainly what they're putting out there with all of their classic rock stuff and their classic movies that they're airing. And then of course now they got classic wrestlers.
25 to 54 is a Canadian. That's how Canada breaks down their demographics specifically. So it's
Yeah.
interesting you throw out that number. Whereas in America, you use 18 to 49, 34 to 49 specifically is how we break those things down here. That's interesting. I almost think that, but I mean, like, Reels' numbers are so much better
Oh,
than Access's.
well,
So much.
because of On Patrol Live. But yes, they
On
are.
Patrol
They're
Live helps.
incredible. Yeah, they're well. It so On Patrol Live averages close to a million on
Mhm.
Friday nights and close to a million on Saturday nights, and they have a 1 hour pre-show. So like that's three. Their
Pre-show.
shows their show is 3 hours on Friday night, 3 hours on Saturday night, and then there's an hour pre-show before. And so you're talking about over 4 hours on both those nights. You're averaging close to a million per night. That increases the rest of the station average, which is
It does.
why you see their station average is a bit little over 300 million. That's an
300,000, yeah.
incredible, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's incredible. So and that's not a knock on Reels. Like it's hard to
Yeah,
have a hit show, and they
yeah.
got one that's on Friday and Saturday. So kudos to them.
And like any good cable network, you're gonna beat that horse to death until there's nothing left of it. It's
Yeah.
like cable, shows never end. They're put out of their misery in cable. Like, I think they
Mhm.
have aren't they Chrisley's still on and he's in prison.
I think so. Yeah, he like I don't know if it's airing from his prison, but like the reruns are all over the place.
Yeah, that guy's doing, like, hard time.
What a piece of shit he is.
He's a
Uh,
complete piece of shit.
the opposite of a piece of shit is Joe Hendry. He was at a meet and greet, and they showed him meeting and greeting fans, and basically saying who's going to beat Moose, and they said Joe Hendry. So there you go.
This this was great. I love when they get us out there with actual fans. And Joe Hendry has this that his melodic Scottish brogue just makes me happy every time I hear it.
Mhm.
Brings me back to the mother country. And it just I love this guy with all of my heart. He's so great. He's so great.
JD's a believer.
Oh,
Um,
I believe. I've never not
yeah.
believed in Joe Hendry. I firmly believe.
Next up, we got Allison Kay defeating a Taya Valkyrie. I thought this was okay from Kay.
Asslemania.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you
I'm
said that,
watching
not
this
me.
match. I look at my phone. I look up, like, all I see is nothing but butt cheeks flying through the ring, and I'm just okay. I know what we're going for here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. We're going for the luchadontic demographic.
People who appreciate fat asses. That's what we're going
Yeah.
for here. Yes.
So yeah. Anyway, Alice. I mean, they're wrestling. The Death Dolls and the Hex are going at it at No Surrender. So Allison Kay pinned the champion, which
Why are
yeah,
they the Hex? Other than it's a cool name, is it like they brought him out with James Mitchell 2 weeks ago when I was still on the show?
yeah.
And I didn't watch last week. Did we follow that up at all, or is it just we called them Hex? 'Cause it's a cool name.
I think that's just their tag team name. They did do a backstage promo and they worked Hex into their thing. Like Allison said that they're going to hex extinguish the competition.
Oh
Get
god.
it?
Oh, I
Yeah.
got it. I got it.
I
So
almost hit the exit or the hexit when she said that.
that's just as bad, but funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I just curious. I didn't know if they were gonna
Yeah.
like Satan
I
him up or anything like that for this feud.
no, I don't think they're doing the spooky stuff. So I think
Good.
they
I mean,
just like the
good.
name. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Frankie Kazarian and Yummy Mora defeated the Design, Diener, and Callahan. I thought this was a pretty decent match here, but the design drama I'm not really too
I
crazy
have
about.
lots of storyline concerns with this. Why does Sammy care?
Well, so I'm maybe when we get to the end goal we'll find out, but I don't even see a possible end goal that would even make sense.
I don't
Like what's the whole
understand
point?
why he cares. Like, why is he trying to make Cody Deaner happy? What, like, I keep waiting for Sam McCallum to cut this like MJF style promo about why his life is falling apart and why he's a piece of shit and has to hang
Yeah.
out with these people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't I, this the whole character motivations thing on Sammy Callahan's part is completely baffling to me. Like, why is he
Mhm.
tolerating shit from Cody fucking Deaner of all people? I don't
Yeah.
get it. Why is Big Con on my screen? You talked about Drew Galloway, who worked his ass off when he got released by WWE. You know who didn't? Big Con.
Yeah, exactly.
Both wound up at Impact, strangely enough.
Strangely enough. Um, but yeah, Kazarian put the crossface chicken wing on Callahan. So Diener basically teased tagging in and then got off the apron, left Callahan in there by himself, and then Kazarian got the crossface chicken wing. So
Why? Why?
yeah.
None of this makes
I
sense.
like they started off with Callahan wanting to be part of the design. We all knew it was bullshit from the beginning, and it's just still going. And then we know eventually he's going to turn on the design. But what's the point? Like, did he
Well,
have prior history with them? I don't think that he did. Other than so they did have the Eric Young feud. So maybe that's the catalyst of I don't know. It
Eric
makes no
Young's
sense to me.
dead, man. Show some respect.
Yeah,
But I mean,
that is
like,
true. God rest his
God
soul.
rest his soul. Like, I don't understand why Sammy wants to be in this group. I don't understand why Cody Deaner is shitting on him when this is a crazy person who likes to like play with spikes and stuff like that. And none of this makes any sense to me whatsoever. Why is Khan there?
I don't. They just picked him off the unemployment line. Like he was hanging out at the fucking redneck bus station, and they picked his ass up. I don't know.
It's there's other
Yeah,
guys. I just don't.
yeah.
I don't
Bring
get it.
back Jake something. Give him a new name. All right. There was a
Cousin
fantastic.
Jake, it's there. We
It's
have
there.
a
Yeah,
storyline there.
yeah.
None of this works.
A fantastic video package aired for Masha Slamovich and Mickey James.
This
The
was
captions
good.
for it was very good. The captions for this for Slamovich was speaking English when she said "hard to kill" with a Russian accent. This is from I'm just reading verbatim what Josiah said. The captions thought she said "teeth haha to pull." I didn't catch that.
I
I
didn't
don't know
catch
what
that
the hell
either.
he's saying here, which actually fits the gimmick. Okay. But I really thought the whole thing was great. I love it. I like what they're doing with Slamovich here.
Josiah's Canadian. He must have gotten confused. No, this segment ruled. Like, I've been saying this for a
Mhm.
long time. Just let her talk and be Russian. Russians are
Yeah.
scary, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a Russian in professional wrestling, a real Russian. We've had fake Russians for generations. Now you got a
We
real Russian out there speaking actual Russian, not like
we
Nikita
we had a
Koloff out there doing this all the time. You know, she's
the most
great.
famous Russian was a French Canadian that didn't sound anything like a Russian. He just growled a lot and spoke
Actually,
half French.
actual truth. Ivan Koloff, for those of you who are confused.
Ivan Koloff, yeah.
Nikita was from Minneapolis, went to high school with the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
Those guys went to high
Uh,
school together. What I mean, can you imagine going to like parties during that era?
n-
Bunch of
uh, N-
lunatics.
Nikita Koloff, the Road Warriors, Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig,
Scott Norton,
Scott Norton. Yeah,
yeah,
crazy.
bunch of Barry Darso, lunatics, whole crew.
The design were backstage, and Diener claimed that step 5 of the 7 deadly steps was to prove loyalty, no matter what the design did to him. Um, yeah. Okay, so
This
I guess they're gonna
sucks.
get to 7. They're gonna get to 7. So here's my theory of what happens at No Surrender. I think that right before the match between Big Con and should I say fuck it, between Big Con and
Don't care.
Kazarian, yeah, who cares? Callahan is actually going to end up facing Kazarian instead of Big Con. They're going to somehow put Callahan in the match, which would
Well, I'd
make it a
much
match worth
rather
watching.
see that. I don't want to watch Big Con. Like Frankie Kazarian can't be going, oh, I jumped from AEW to wrestle Big Con. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, we got you signed now, sucker. You got to
Yeah,
wrestle this stupid fuck.
jump. Now you got to wrestle Big Con. Carry
Yeah,
his ass.
yeah, yeah. I bet you wish you were on Dark now, asshole. Speaking of assholes, Bully Ray defeated Bhupinder Gujar Gujar got distracted, and then Bully Ray. This I actually really liked this whole segment. So Bully just hit him with the chain. He didn't even put his knee pads on. Just hit him with the chain and pinned him. Gujar's a bit of a geek here, but oh well.
Gujar is a geek. Gujar's always been a geek. Gujar will
Yeah,
always be. I mean, that's fine. If this is what Bully Ray is going to do and beat the Bhupinder Gujars of the world, fine. He's
yeah,
not in the main event. That whatever. I'm fine with
yeah.
it.
Yep. Then Dreamer tried to motivate Gujar. I don't think it's gonna work there, bud. Um, and then we get to the we had Kevin Kelly talking about New Japan on Access. So there you go. X Division champion Trey Miguel defeated Crazy Steve in a goddamnedest monstrous ball match you ever seen. I was thoroughly entertained by this match. It was super wild. Lots of crazy spots. I honestly expected it to be bloodier, but not everybody can bleed like Evil Uno apparently. But I thought both these guys got some juice. We got thumbtacks, barbed wire. We got Janice. Janice came back.
Janice,
The 4x4 with the nails in it. From that was appropriately named after Dixie Carter's mom, Abyss's
hilarious.
former weapon.
Hilarious. Yes.
Yeah, I really loved this match. It's the best damn match I've ever seen Crazy Steve have. That's for sure.
Mike, I was so ready to go. I'm tired of watching dudes hit each other with stuff. Turns out that's a fucking lie. I loved every minute of this. I loved watching these two guys hit each other with shit. I don't know what it is. Trey Miguel, he always surprises me. Like, I know he's good, but he comes on like, that's Trey Miguel. And then he always manages to entertain me. And Crazy Steve's a damn lunatic. He's also an idiot. He had the match won. And he pulled him up. And I went, Crazy Steve's the dumbest motherfucker in professional wrestling.
Well, here's my okay, let me give you a story arc here. Or let me explain Steve for you. He doesn't care about the X Division title. He was just here to get revenge because Trey Miguel screwed over Taurus, and he's been fucking with him ever since. And he just wanted to beat the shit out of this guy. Which pulling him up was a bit of a heel move, but that was when I saw that, I was like, that makes no sense. But then he's like, wait a minute, it's Crazy Steve. Why would Crazy Steve care about a title belt?
He lost the match, Mike.
He did lose.
He didn't
the match,
win the war.
True.
He lost the match. Dumb move.
Dude.
But very entertaining match.
It was.
The black hole slam. Like, I was like, these people are aware Abyss doesn't work for this company anymore, right? Abyss is in WWE. There were so many Abyss tributes in this. The black hole slam and the tags, which looked great. Looked fantastic. Yeah. Like, it was a lot of fun. I liked watching Trey continuously pulling thumbtacks out of his hands with this look on his face. Like, why the fuck did I do this match?
It's like what kind of a dummy am I?
I know. I mean, like, it actually added to the match because it's not in Trey's character to be like that. So this looks, I don't know if it was on purpose or if he's acting or what, but I mean, these looks of constant frustration as he yanks thumbtacks out of himself actually helped the match a lot for me. Like, I thought this was a lot of fun. I was prepared not to love this match. I just went in jaded, and these two entertained the hell out of me. Like, I don't know why I doubt Crazy Steve. I've always enjoyed the stuff he does for years.
Yeah, the guy can go in the ring, and so obviously so can Trey. But when he comes to putting on a wild match, I think Crazy Steve is an underrated guy at these matches. And after seeing this, I'm like, they really should give him the ball more. He's an interesting character. I don't like spooky bullshit, but he's still an interesting character. He was over with the crowd, and then the match was awesome. Like, why not give the guy more opportunities?
I agree, especially when it comes to like some deathmatch stuff. Like, he actually surprised me in how good he can do these kind of things. I mean, like, I'm not saying he's the American Jun Kasai or anything like that, but I would watch Crazy Steve do these kind of matches more frequently. He did it good. He did it well.
You already brought up the black hole slam. I love that spot.
Mm-hmm.
The spot that made me jump out of my fucking seat was him jumping from the middle rope into the Canadian Destroyer on the tacks.
And the chair. Yeah. His ass hit a chair and the thing. I did the same thing. I jumped up to it. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Like, that was the craziest thing. Yeah, man. This was awesome. This was awesome.
So the finish was Trey. He hit the crossroads on the outside through the barbed wire. I guess it would be plywood, the barbed wire plywood board. I wish he wouldn't have hit the crossroads there. because he took all of the punishment on that move into the barbed wire. So I was like, okay, yes, wrestling's bullshit, but I was like, come on, maybe do a pile driver, maybe do a power bomb or something. But he did the crossroads, and he was the one that took all the barbed wire.
Wrestling is stupid sometimes.
Yeah, it still looked awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it was like when Cody Rhodes went through the flaming table with Andrade, but Cody Rhodes is the one that went through the flaming table, and somehow he won. And I was like, same exact moment. Like, you guys got to think about these things when you do them. But look cool.
Yeah,
look cool.
Yeah,
Can't argue that.
It looked cool, and then when you end on a high note like that, and they've done it 2 weeks in a row, it really makes me excited for No Surrender. And I just felt like, after that really bad episode they had a couple weeks ago, I thought that they jumped up a couple of notches here.
Yeah.
And so, when the show's bad, we're gonna say it. When the show's good, we're definitely gonna say it. And I thought this was a really good show. So kudos to them.
I like watching good wrestling. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and get into our No Surrender preview. Let me pull up. You know what? I need to pull up the card here. Just 1 second. Well, here we'll go to the first match. I got boom. So in the main event, we got Josh Alexander versus Rich Swann. Could we possibly see a title change here?
No.
No. But I mean, the match is gonna be fucking awesome, though, right?
Should be fine. I haven't liked the build for these two. I don't think they have much out of the ring chemistry. Like Josh, I don't like mellow Josh.
You want to hear a hot take?
Give me a hot take.
I feel like Rich Swann has been carrying the feud.
I agree 100%. Rich Swann cut a really good promo. We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about Rich Swann's promos that they did with Josh and the one he did with Macklin too. I thought Rich Swann was doing yeoman's work in this. I really do.
Yo, did we actually skip over that?
We did skip over that. Might as well talk about it now.
That was not intentional. Yeah, I thought that was really strong because, Alexander, they were talking about Swann accidentally kicking Josh last week, and Josh goes, and he was trying to apologize for it. And he goes, "Oh, don't worry, Rich. I know that you don't got that in you." And that sent Rich into a fucking frenzy. And he was just like, "What? Wait a minute. You don't think I got that in me?" And then he went on a great tirade. Like, he's a great fiery babyface, and I don't think that he gets enough credit because of the small reach that Impact has. Like, if he is in one of the bigger promotions, like, he is a very good babyface that a lot of people could get behind.
He was a very good babyface people got behind in WWE, and they barely used him.
That is absolutely true.
Like, I think he's been curious, and Josh has this whole like, I can't be bothered with any of this vibe to him right now. Like, with his promos are just so like lapsadaisical and like no heart. Like, I know he's not half-assing it. This is just not playing up to his strengths, right? No. And he comes off very nonchalant in his delivery, which makes it so he doesn't give a fuck, quite frankly.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I think the match is going to be quite good. So, the match is going to be great. Next we go to.
I think they should turn Rich actually after this. Really
okay. Next we go to Mickie James versus Masha Slamovich with Mercedes Moné on the horizon. I mean, no shot that we get a title change here, right?
No, they're building up to another match. Like, this is Masha will get that title, but again, not today, sir. Back in the line, ma'am. Back in the line.
Yeah. I think this is going to be an excellent match. Masha is very, very good, and Mickie can go when she's in there with somebody that can really, really go. Someone that's younger than her, but like when she's been in there with Deonna, she's been excellent. I saw her have an excellent match with Giselle Shaw, Jordan Grace. Obviously, that was a great match. So I think this would be another line of those great Mickie James matches that we see.
I don't think Mickey's in a position in her career now where she can carry anybody. But I think then when she's in there with someone better than her, I think she elevates her game, right? I think she can keep up. But and Masha's really good, so it should be a really good match. I think Masha's going to make her look great, and it'll be a fun back and forth. I just don't think they're going to go with Masha right now. Timing is off. By the way, these graphics package is fantastic.
Thank you.
Graphics, I'm just posting it. It's great.
Thank you, Jeremy Finestone, for that. I was like, after the show was over, the dinner still wasn't made. So I was like up here. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put together some graphics for the No Surrender preview. I think that would be really cool. We've never done that. And I saw the Parallel World show that you and Jeremy did. Great show, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And I was like, man, fucking Jeremy put together some really cool stuff here. So I was like, let me do some of that. And I just couldn't figure it out because you got to switch all the pictures to PDF, and I just don't have the PDF stuff on my computer. Like I just don't have that ability. I don't know. It always looks like shit when I do it, and then whenever I try it won't even upload. So I just gave up, and I texted him. I was like, I was kind of just whining and complaining. I didn't actually mean for him to go and do it for me, but because he is the way he is, and he's just a super great guy, he's awesome. He felt the need to go ahead and do that for us. So thank you to Jeremy for that. So quick question in regarding this match. Okay, so I think we both believe that Mickie James is winning. We kind of feel like Sasha is on her way here to Impact at some point. Do we get a little bit of a tease? Do we see like maybe a video package of Sasha? Do we see something like that after this match is over?
Maybe.
That'd be cool, right?
I don't feel comfortable enough going with it, but it's possible. It's certainly possible. Yeah, maybe I could see it. By the way, Parallel Worlds is the nerdiest show on the Fight Game.
yeah. If you're a super fucking nerd, you're gonna love Parallel Worlds.
Worlds.
Sorry.
Like I host a comic book podcast, another different comic book podcast. I did them with Jeremy, and after the show, I'm like, God, that's like 10 times nerdier than my other podcast. We're a couple of dorks. Like, I appreciate it. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah. Speaking of nerdy, I posted this in the new Discord thing we got going on for Fight Game. I was doing that. I had the AI app. I had the 3-day free trial, and I made Batman on that thing. I got to send it to you.
Oh yeah,
I just wanted to make my own Batman, so I did.
You made some Ethan Jericho ones for me that are awesome. I'm going to find a use for those somewhere. I'm like, these actually turned out pretty good. Like officially, I hate AI. My stance against AI is it's awful, it's evil. But these are really cool looking.
I was listening to a podcast that somebody was talking about it. I was like, let me see if I can make some. Because I was thinking about making graphics for the show, and I ended up not making any graphics for the show. I made Ethan Jericho and fucking Batman. But
see, we're nerding you out, man. You're slowly turning. You're coming over.
Next up, we got Time Machines versus Bullet Club. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and make my pick here, and I'll tell you why. I'm gonna go with Bullet Club because on the subsequent tapings from No Surrender, the No Surrender Fallout show, KENTA this Saturday is facing Josh Alexander. They didn't advertise it as a world heavyweight title match because obviously he's got the defense against Swann. But, KENTA is not going into the match with Josh on a loss, is he?
No, he isn't. And I think it's time to reheat up Bullet Club a little bit. And the tag champs can lose in a 6-man and need to do something. We do something here. Is it? I think Kenta just win the strong title too.
He did, yeah. So this would be the world champion versus the strong champion.
Yeah. I like that booking actually. I think this plays much better into what Josh does. So I'm on board. Bullet Club all the way. Too sweet and all that.
So at Battle in the Valley, Josh was in the opening 8-man contest. It was him and Volador, the Volador Jr. from CMLL, and I can't remember who else against. No, it was him and Rocky Romero.
Because Rocky Romero is feuding with Volador right now in CMLL.
Yeah, and Volador was on Kushida's team. I can't remember everybody's names in the thing, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because at the beginning of the match, and people could say what they want about Impact's reach and their viewership, and I agree it's not great. But there was a huge walking weapon chant at the beginning of that match, and then they had dueling walking weapon Kushida chants going back and forth, and nobody else in the match got a chant other than those two guys, and I was just like, I think we got something here with Josh, and obviously they're setting up the Josh Kushida match at Multiverse United.
Remember when we talked about Josh in the G1 and I said they don't view Josh in that way? And here you go again. He's the Impact World Champion working opening 8-man tags for New Japan. I hope they book him better, but I just don't think they see it, Josh. They don't see it in Josh. Don't know why. This is where they're.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully just at least hearing those chants, be like, hey, look, when you're in the States, this guy is a little bit more popular than maybe they were giving him credit for.
Agreed.
So it'd be nice if they put him in a better position because I think he could really do some damage in New Japan, New Japan proper and New Japan strong. So we got some other. So I wanted to go over those are the top 3 matches. Opening contest is going to be on the pre-show. Deonna Purrazzo versus Chili Girl herself, Giselle Shaw.
This is
What you got?
opening. If it's not Deonna Purrazzo, there's a problem. If they just re-signed her, if they just optioned her to jobber, that's a huge problem. It better be Deonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Deonna there. Second match, Jonathan Gresham versus Mike Bailey. Who you got?
Speedball. I'm gonna have to go with Gresham because he's new.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Gresham too, because not only that, he lost here this week, and they kind of do that. They'll make a guy lose and they give him a victory back. And then he lost to Eddie Edwards at Hard to Kill. So I'm like, man, if we just signed this guy, we got him for a couple of years. Let's do something with him.
If Gresham loses again, you're gonna hear about it in the locker room. You're talking about that PWI ranking and everything.
Yeah. We got a fatal 4-way: Brian Myers versus Heath versus PCO versus Macklin. I'll go first because it's my guy. Fucking Macklin all the way, especially after that angle tonight.
If it's not Macklin, we have such problems in this promotion. I don't even know where to start.
Okay, so let's say it is Macklin. Where does he get the title shot? Do you do the title shot in March at the monthly Impact Plus special, or do you do pay-per-view at Rebellion?
Pay-per-view Rebellion.
Okay. I could see that. If they don't have somebody big coming in for that, that's the biggest internal match you got.
It is. And if you have Mercedes Moné on the card, you don't need to have a huge draw for your world title match.
Right. Well, and then Josh isn't main eventing that show if Mercedes Moné is on this, even though Josh is Toronto.
Correct. Yeah. But you don't need him. You can have him open, to be honest with you, and people go crazy. Right away, Josh comes out, people lose their shit. Right? That's what
you know what? Impact did that for Hard to Kill, and I thought that was the right move. They had Josh and Bully open the show, and Dave said Meltzer was saying on Wrestling Observer Radio, I think he was just talking about like booking philosophies and stuff, and he was just like, look, Vern Gagne and several other promoters back in the day, if they knew they were having a brawl on the card, they'd put the brawl in the main event, and they would actually have their world title match come out first, right? Because they knew that the brawl was going to steal the show, so they just had the world title match first.
Hogan always worked middle of the card as WWF World Champion. Always. Because then you could sell the tickets on the rebound and coming back, Always. Yep. Like, this is, people think they understand wrestling, but they really don't. Like, world title match can show up wherever. And like I said, if Moné is on the show, she should draw for the pay-per-view. So you have some flexibility. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yep, totally agree. We got the Death Dolls versus the Hex. I think the Hex has got this deal.
I think the Hex has got to go over. Why else we bring them in?
Yeah. Frankie Kazarian versus Khan. I'm going, who gives a shit?
If it's not Frankie, I'll laugh really, really hard.
Yeah. My official prediction actually is Frankie Kazarian beats Sami Callihan. I think they're going to figure out a way to put Sami Callihan in the match, and that's going to be his next, like the 6th step of douchebaggery or whatever the fuck.
I don't care. I hate everything about this. It's the worst.
And finally, we got Joe Hendry versus Moose in a .combat match.
What a stupid name, but it only works with Joe Hendry's in the match. I still believe in Joe Hendry.
I thought that because it's a Matt Cardona gimmick. I thought it worked when he did it with Jordan Grace too. I really did. Because he was like a digital media guy. That was like his thing. So
I get it. But we just had like a big match like that tonight. So it's going to be tricky for me to see. We got this big serious Monsters Ball match tonight, and then we're going to make fun of it. And I don't think that plays into Moose's strengths either. I wish this was just a match. Right. But it's Joe. I'm going to go with Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Joe Hendry. I don't think you beat Joe Hendry anytime soon. And then they're going to have to figure something else out with Moose after that, because he is too good to be kind of a gatekeeper role, especially with his contract coming up soon.
We're kind of stuck with him right now, right?
I don't know. Yeah. So they pushed him to the world title, and then he's just been kind of in, upper mid-card feuds ever since. But it's hard, like once you lose the world title and you've had it for 8 months. Yeah. So I'm hoping that they can find another big name to bring in, and then a big name babyface, whoever becomes available, whoever that might be. And they feud him with Moose. But and maybe that's what they're doing with Joe Hendry. Maybe that's the answer that we're seeking. They see Joe Hendry in that light, which if they do, I agree. I think they got something with Hendry.
I don't disagree. I like what they're doing with Joe Hendry. We need a good hot baby face, and we're getting there
Yeah.
with Joe Hendry. I just don't know what you do with Moose. I really don't. I mean, like, sometimes I think people stay too long in promotions, right? I
Mhm.
feel like that. I almost feel like Deanna and Moose are stuck,
Yeah.
right? Spinning their wheels and nothing's happening really.
You know, I don't think he'd ever go for it, but it'd be wise if Impact and Moose, like, they re-sign him, because I would like for them to re-sign Moose. Be like, hey Moose, you know what? Why don't you go to New Japan for the summer? You know
Be
what I
great.
mean? Like, and Deanna, why don't you go to whatever goddamn ice ribbon or whatever? Go
You
go
know,
go to Japan for
you
the
know, what'd be
summer.
great is if we had Moose like feud with Okada for a couple months in the summer, just to kind of break things up. It would Moose like they did with Jonah, because that really say
Yeah.
what you want. That really did help elevate Jonah's stock and help his return. Like,
Hmm.
you wouldn't know it now, but I mean, like, Jonah was actually a pretty good feature on the indies for a while. So I don't hate that idea at all. I know there's people like, oh, Moose, New Japan, no
Yeah.
way. You
Yeah.
know,
Keep him
whatever,
away.
whatever. Moose is good.
Yeah.
And Okada would have an excellent match with him. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, he would. All right, guys. Hey, that's going to do it for us here on the free feed. So if you're listening to Apple Podcast, Spotify, or if you're watching us on YouTube, please head over to
Patreon.
patreon.com/fight game media. And we got a lot more stuff to talk about. Honestly, there's no real Impact news going on right now. There's not a ton of, other than matches upcoming at the tapings. And by the time you hear this, the matches will probably have already happened. So, but we do have some interesting stuff to talk about. We got Kenny Omega news. There's some news that came out about him. We're going to talk Ariel and Tony Khan, Jay White, and Kota Ibushi, and maybe even some CM Punk talk. Who knows? Who knows where the night will bring? So come on over to patreon.com/fightgamemedia and join the conversation over there.